Finding affordable and quality childcare is a challenge for many Wisconsin families, but parents don't have to navigate this issue alone. The Wisconsin Shares Child Care Subsidies Program offers financial assistance to eligible parents struggling to afford quality childcare. Diane Rico, our early childhood education ambassador with Milwaukee Succeeds, joins us to discuss the available resources, how to apply for assistance, and where the state ranks regarding childcare affordability. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So what is Wisconsin Shares and how do you qualify for it?
Wisconsin Shares is a subsidy for families in Milwaukee to help cover the cost out of pocket for childcare for their children. There is an income limit, so it is based off your income. And whatever the families are awarded depends on that. Like say a family that is closer to the limit of that income will get funded less than a person whose needs might be greater. So I can't give out an exact number of how much families get, but it is out there for families to take advantage of.
What are some of the barriers families face when applying for subsidies?
I think some of the biggest barrier right now would be lack of awareness. Not enough people know about this. It is not promoted enough. It is not talked about enough. And another barrier would be lack of knowledge of how to navigate the system. For example, right now everything is done on the internet through a smartphone or a computer. Many people don't know how to use that. You know, we want to think, well, everybody knows how to navigate smartphones, but that's not the case, especially given the surge of immigrants in the last few years. We have people with language barriers that might not understand the system to where they can even understand the language to apply.
So how expensive is childcare? You hear all these stories that it's very expensive. How expensive is it?
It's expensive. Nationally, Wisconsin ranks among the top 20 of the most expensive in the nation. We have other major cities spending no more than 6 or 7% of their median household income, whereas in Wisconsin, our families are having to spend upwards to 16% of their median household income, which yearly comes to about close to $12,000. And that is only for one child. Now, taking into account families that might have more than one child needing childcare, that amount increases significantly.
Is that because Wisconsin charges more for childcare compared to other states, or why is it so upside down here?
I don't think there's a cutoff. I don't think the amount that centers are allowed to charge is moderated by any agency, so it varies a lot. A lot of things come into place as to how much centers can charge. Some will be whether they're accredited through a certain agency, like NACE is one of them, and then their ratings kind of play a role into how much of a high quality per se the centers are, which would kind of give them a right to charge a little more than a home-based child care facility.
We talk some about rankings, like a high quality child care agency compared to a lower child care rating. What's the difference? How is a parent supposed to know which one is high quality versus which one is not?
I think that would greatly depend on the family's needs. For example, maybe as a parent, I would value more a smaller sized classroom or group compared to a nationally accredited bigger facility that will in turn have bigger classrooms, and my child might not be getting the same one-on-one attention. As far as high quality, in order to be an educator, you have to have the education, you have to have the schooling for it. So I believe that high quality education cannot be kind of just based off saying this is a high-end, brand new facility, and then turn down the smaller facilities with the wrong idea that they may not be able to provide what you're looking for. Because some providers decide to spend their funding or their money in other areas rather than a brand new building.
Gotcha.
So I think it would vary greatly depending on the need of the family.
How did you become an ambassador?
I became an ambassador because I know the struggle. I am raising a family myself, and I decided to go back and pursue my education as raising my children. So oftentimes it took me many years, a lot of starting and having to quit because I didn't have childcare available. And in order to qualify for a lot of the childcare subsidies or whatever, you have to be enrolled in an approved activity. Sometimes the the place where I was obtaining my education from wasn't considered an approved facility, so therefore I wouldn't qualify for childcare subsidies. And it's hard paying for childcare out of pocket on top of paying for my schooling when I'm not making any income myself. So I personally know the struggle.
What are you hearing from lawmakers saying that? Do you hear weird stories about maybe you shouldn't have a child if you can't afford it? Tell us about some of that.
We've heard it, as to a lot of people in politics would say, well, nobody told you to start a family. You made that choice, so deal with it. When it's sadly, why does it have to come to that? Why does it have to come to people having to decide whether they want to pursue having a family and decide between that or a career?
Gotcha.
Which in turn, it's happening. And it's affecting majority women because we all see it, and part of it, as the way our society is structured, women are seen as the caretakers. So say you're out of college, you have a career, you start working. Once you get married and you decide to start having a family, it's often assumed that, well, the wife stays home with the children, many times leaving their career.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I understand. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. And this is an issue that people should look into. Thanks.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.